Hey, here's just a real quick rundown of the Alien Gear holster I just bought. I bought one for a 1911, and I didn't see anybody post anything about it. Well, I've seen Alien Gear reviews so far, good. This is for the 5-inch 1911. You can see I think you have the option to have the front finished. I forget. Check their site, I guess, but the finish is nice. The front side's real nice. It's real smooth. And the back side, it's also dyed, but it has a rougher texture to it. I haven't worn this yet. I just got it. I have a crossbreed, so I can tell the difference between this and the crossbreed. The crossbreed is a little rougher back here, but I don't necessarily think that means anything. One of the major differences that I noticed between this holster and the crossbreed is, and it's probably a good thing, these screws that seat everything to lock all your hardware to the leather, they put them in the holes. So I guess once you figure out where you want this to sit, just push them out, I guess, unless you want to leave them there. But you just push them out of the leather and save them for later. And that goes with every hole on here. All of those are there for the adjustments on the cant of the holster. You know what that is. The bag they give you comes with all the extra spacers for the Kydex, so you can adjust this gap to whatever retention you want. So you just take these Allen screws out, you take the Kydex off, and it does come with the Allen wrench in there, and a bunch of spacers and a bunch of screws, and there's all kinds of things in there. One thing I did notice is that the spacers, these little rubber spacers, actually look like 1/4-inch fuel line or transmission cooler line for a vehicle. So if these things weren't doing what you want it to do, just go to the auto store and take a piece of this down and have them match it up. I think it would probably be 1/4-inch trans cooler line, and they just cut it into little pieces, which that's a pretty cool way to repurpose something. But this stuff's tough. I mean, if you know anything about fuel lines, they're not going to deteriorate anytime soon. The holster is really nice. It feels really good, and yes, the Kydex is thicker than crossbreed. Not that that means much, unless it means something to you. I don't know, whatever. But it is thicker, so it's pretty solid stuff. And then Alien Gear has a really nice logo printed on their leather. The clips, I mean, those are pretty damn solid. Now, as far as a 1911 goes, the gun's clear, no mag in it. But you would carry it like this. Now, I'll slide it on in there, and against your body, that's it. So you would have leather between you and the safety on a standard 5-inch 1911. The thing I have going, and it's not a problem, it was just something I didn't see. My 1911 has target sights on it, so you can see I have this much more metal for this rear sight, and this Kydex is not cut for that. So when I put the gun in, you can see the sight is hitting the Kydex right here, and I still got about 1/4 of an inch to go. So if I push back on the leather, I can seat the gun the whole way, but you can see how much I would have to take out, which is no big deal. I'll just use a Dremel and I'll take it out. But yeah, it hits like that. But that's not a fault of the holster, it's just the sights on my gun. So if you have a 1911 with sights like this, then be prepared to have to take a little bit of material off, but It's only plastic. You can fix that pretty easy. Short of that, it's a really nice holster. I mean, just the feel of it feels really good. The leather's really thick. It's dyed nicely. So I'll know when I wear it. And of course, I'm not going to complain about the holster. Wearing a full 5-inch 1911 is probably a little ridiculous, but why not? This thing was cheap enough. I paid, hold on, I paid $41.83 for it. So really, for that price, I'll modify that and I'll carry it around. And if it's uncomfortable, it's because I'm carrying this big stupid thing. Like I said, I do have a crossbreed that is similar to this, but that crossbreed carries a Smith & Wesson Shield, which is probably more conducive and more comfortable to carry than a full size. But I thought, why not for 45 bucks? Let me give it a try. If I don't like it, oh well, I'll just set this somewhere and whatever. I'm not out like a bunch of money. The crossbreed was like almost 80 bucks. And as other people have pointed out, the nice thing is you can take all this Kydex off of here and adjust these spacers and do whatever you want with it. The cant's fully adjustable. It feels like a really nice holster. So for that kind of money, it's pretty good. And like I said about the spacers, even if you screw these up or lose them, it's easily replaceable. Just go get some fuel line from AutoZone or wherever, or transmission cooler line, and then just sit there with a razor blade and trim them and do whatever you want with it. But pretty nice. I'm pretty impressed with that for that money.